2. It's that time of the week again, and it's time that us bats congregate on internet for our weekly chat and cup of tea. There's nothing like a nice cup of tea. I was just going to say there's nothing wrong with a nice cup of tea, but we all know that, don't we? So welcome everybody, and here we are again. Didn't that week go quickly? Didn't it just absolutely whiz round in a circle before you could bat an eyelid and say, nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea. Anyway, we'll get the bad news over with before we get any further, shall we? I'm afraid there's no Brew at 2 next week. I know, we've just come back and then I tell you that there's not one next week. Well, you see, Chrissy has got an appointment, so I'm afraid, unfortunately, there's no Brew at 2 next week. So that's the bad news. So the good news is we've got the next hour in front of us. We've got the bats. You might notice that we've got a new scam tally. We've got the bat map. We've got the bat bag. So we're all set up and ready to rock and roll for the next hour of entertainment. And I'm all on my own this afternoon. I'll say I'm all on my own this afternoon because T-Boy has brought the brews up and disappeared. T-Boy in training is downstairs having a meeting about something clever and whizzy. We are now doing all of the online listings for Stay Blackpool, which is the Independent Hoteliers Association, and he's having a meeting, an online meeting with the people that do the clever techie stuff that enables you to just book wherever you want to do online, and it's all very puzzling. Basically, they take everybody's different hotel software and do that and spit it out in a form that people like us can use. So anyway, that's what Kevin's doing. So it might be back before we've finished. It might be back, but if he's not, he sends his best regards. So if you're not a regular, why not? Why are you not a regular? This is Visit Fylde Coast. This is the place where you'll find out all the information that you'll want to know about all the interesting things that are happening in this neck of the woods. So we've got Fleetwood in the north, where Jay lives. Hi Jay. We've got Fleetwood in the north. We've got Cleveleys, Blackpool, St Albans and Lytham, and then we kind of stop at the next river. So we're river to river. Online websites, social media pages, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, Pinterest, Twitter, weekly email newsletter. If you don't get that, why not? If you don't get that, you should be signed up, and if you are signed up, you will get this week's, which has just gone out today. And of course YouTube, and of course Brew at 2. So right, let us begin. So I do say so a lot, don't I? I've noticed that before. This week's edition. I'm a little bit tired this morning. In fact, I just thought of something else I might need to tell you. I'll write that down because by the time I get to it, I'll have forgotten. You know. Yes, I'm a bit tired today. In fact, I'm a lot tired today. So if I start to sort of wander off and get this really vacant look on my face, you'll know why. Just bear with me. It'll come back eventually. So this week we have a new addition. I would like to introduce you to our new scam tally. Now I've made quite a large scam tally, which as you can see at the moment is empty. So I promised you this last week. So we thought that we would we would see how many scams we can clock up in the next few months, and I'll keep writing them all down on the board. So what have we got? What have we got? Where are the scams? Where are the scams? And I know I read one out last week, but to be honest, I've forgotten which one. So we had last week, we had £1.5 million from Francis and Patrick Connolly, and their foundation is donating that money to us, and that's copyright. Don't think you can copy it. Copyright the Francis and Patrick Connolly Foundation. So that's £1.5 million. Let me just write this down. It's a bit of a big sheet of card at the moment, and I'm right at the end of it. So Francis and Patrick Connolly. I think this might not be long enough, you know, when I think about it. £1.5 million. So that's the first one. That's the first one on the scam telling. We've done that one. Right, next one. One of these I read out last week, but I couldn't possibly tell you which one because I can't remember. Your email was randomly selected to be the beneficiary of $300,000, courtesy of the benevolence from the Open Society Foundation. I think it might have been that one. So I'll put that one on. Open Society Foundation, and that's $300,000. Now the problem is we're going to have dollars and pounds mixed up, aren't we? So that's going to be an issue, that. And he's an American philanthropist. And then there's another one here. Are you ready? Kristalina Georgieva, Director and President of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The IMF. Oh, now then. This goes on for quite some time, this. Convert a compensation fund worth $850,000. Right, that's a good one, that. So we've got IMF, $850,000. Right, I did realise that before we get much further down here, I'm not going to be able to add this up. So that's 1.1 to 1.5. I'll do it later. I'll take my socks off, shall I? I'll add it up, and we'll have that next week. We're laughing, but don't fall for any scams, and that includes your parcel is not being delivered. We need to check your computer. Anything that sounds a bit odd, do not fall for it. So we're going to take the mickey out of all the silly scams that we get, and it will just keep reminding you that you shouldn't fall for it. Whatever you do. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Drum roll and fanfare. Oh dear, Linda's mum's not well. Oh, poor Linda. Poor Linda's mum. So, drum roll and fanfare. Are you sitting comfortably? We have new bats to add to the bat map. So, all the lovely people that we're just, this is where I get my violin out. We're just a little business, and we're independently run and funded, and we make our money by advertising, by donations that you lovely people send us, and by people buying things like our Brew at 2 mugs. So if you've got a Brew at 2 mug, you will be on the bat map, and you will see that this bat map covers pretty much most of the country. We need to get somebody in Cornwall and somebody in Devon, and we also need to get somebody right up in the Highlands, and then we'll have full coverage. We've got Ireland, we've got Brian in the Isle of Man, we've got all over the place. Need an Isle of Wight one as well. So this week we've got 2 new bats to add to the map. Are you ready? One is Elaine from Blackpool. Round of applause for Elaine. Now Elaine came to see me welcome, Elaine. Elaine came to see me at the market last week and bought a back mug from me while I was there. So I'm going to just pin you on the map, Elaine. I'm going to pin you on the map. And then I'm going to tell you a funny little story about Elaine. It's not about Elaine, it's about me, actually. So Elaine's there. I'm going to put you there, Elaine. And I've put Elaine S. So we know who you are. So I was still talking to somebody right at the other end of the hall last week. And all at once, I saw this lady walk in and I thought, that looks just like Elaine Smith. And she sort of turned to the side and it was Elaine. So I ran the full length. I ran the full length of the community centre with my arms out. Elaine! I think you could say I was pleased to see her. Pleased to see her. Yeah, so that's that one. And we've also got another one to add as well. Drum roll and fanfare. We've also got David, who lives in Chester. So this calls for David to be added onto the map. We've got quite a lot, haven't we? Quite a lot, I think. I said I was going to take all these off, didn't I, and straighten them up. I think I'm going to have to put you just over the, what does he say? Western Isles. My geography is about as good as my memory. There you go. That's you, David, in Chester. Now this is an occasion, this, because Chester is somewhere that we haven't currently got a pin. So I've just looked it up so that I didn't embarrass myself entirely. And I reckon this is Cheshire. Look, can you see there? Can you see there? That's Cheshire. And I reckon Chester is just about there. There you go. That nicely fills a little gap there. So there you go. We've got two new bats. So that's a big round of applause for all our new helpers. Seriously, all joking apart, we do self-finance ourselves, and it costs a shed load of money just to keep everything working. And thank you to Elaine as well for the donation that she left with me last week. Cheers, people. Anybody that wants a brew at 2 mug and lives locally and wants to pop into Cleveley's Market, I shall be there tomorrow. I shall be there tomorrow with my Seaside Emporium stuff. And I've also got Bats cups on the stall as well. So anybody that wants one, you can pop in and see me. Now, something funny here. I was looking for the pins which I marked the map with, and I couldn't find them. So I'm doing this, and this is like 2 seconds before we started this show. And I have a little box of drawers that's got pins and drawing pins and things in. I thought, can't find them, I'll get these. So this, as you can see, it's got drawing pins in the bottom. It's got cup hooks in the top. I've got, you name it, I've got one. I've got split pins for, you know, making keyring things. I've got some matte pins and things like that. So I thought, well, if a push comes to shove, we'll just have to tip the box out and get some pins out while I'm talking to you lovely people. Then I turned around and realised they were right in front of me, all along on my desk, right under my nose. So not only have I got a bad memory, terrible sense of geography, I've also got bad vision. But I have made an appointment for the opticians. So I'm going to go and have my eyes tested at the end of March. So I might be turning up with a Labrador in a few weeks. Right, so that's that. We're up to there. Right, news, our news. Oh, goodness me, online strips without clothing. I think we'll get rid of that one then, shall we? We'll see if we can ban that one, I think. Just waiting for it to come up on my Oh, I'm a long way behind. Just a minute. Just a minute. We've got an idiot with us. We've got an idiot in the ranks. In the ranks that needs removing. If I can remember what we do. If I can remember what we do. Just a sec. Oh, I'm a long way behind. Somebody's posting silly messages. It's obviously a scammer. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. When it comes up on my thing, I'll delete it. Ah, here we go. Love face XYZ strips without clothing. Oh dear me. Put user in timeout. That's it. Oh, that should do that job nicely. And report. Shall we say it's sexually explicit? I don't think it will quite mark, will it? But never mind, we'll do that. It'll get him kicked off. Right, that's that. So, news. Chrissy. Right, we'll start at the beginning with Chrissy, shall we? Since I've already told you that we're off for an appointment last week. So she's making good progress. She's making good progress. I'm feeding her up. I'm fattening her up and fattening me up at the same time. And she's getting some strength back. She's now sort of walking little hops, sort of the length of our office type distances, and doing it reasonably strongly. So we're just waiting for the weather to perk up, and then we can actually go out somewhere. So I'm going to start with little hops, and we're going to go for a walk across the road and a walk to the ice cream van. Oh, thanks, Josh. That's really kind of you. It's really kind of you. So we're going to go for a walk to the ice cream van, and then we're going to start going out in the car and whatnot. So all things considered, it's going quite well at the moment. So we've got an appointment next week at the walk-in centre at Fleetwood for an ultrasound scan for something that they found when they did the CT scan when they were diagnosing the sternum. So we need to wait and see whether that's a whole new bag of worms. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be confirmation of it not being anything. But you never know until they've looked, do you? So we'll have to wait and see. As if she's not got enough problems. So that's that. Meanwhile, as I've just said, we're getting back into the swing. Well, I'm getting back into the swing with Cleveland's Market, which is a bit of a trial at the moment. Because, well, it's a very long story. It's far too long a story to tell you. But suffice it to say that we're cross-hobbled in every direction. So you might have seen the video I did last week from the market. I'm going to do another one tomorrow, explaining why it's where it is, why it's on the day it is, why it can't be anywhere else, why it's got to be this, that and the other. So basically we are literally stuck to Wednesdays, and currently we've got nowhere else to put it because there's nowhere else that's in a sheltered enough position out of the weather. So we've been talking about the Argos shop in Cleveland, which you might know has been empty for a long time. So I contacted the agent, the letting agent that's looking after that, and asked whether they would be amenable to the idea of a pop-up market. And I'm thinking a free pop-up market. So they sent me an email back with floor plans and leaflets and all kinds of information. 101,000 a year rent. So I think we'll be passing on that. But all joking apart, if anybody wants to come to the market tomorrow, it's at the community centre on the corner of Beach Road and Kensington Road in Cleveland. It's the old Beach Road School. Oh, thanks, Matt. Buy Chrissy and yourself a nice cup of tea. We will do, Matt. As soon as we can and as soon as we can get out, we shall definitely be going out buying cups of tea and cake, plenty of cake, yeah. So that's that. Anyway, last week I asked you if anybody had got any recipes, because I'm trying to fatten my darling mother up, and it's a bit of a struggle trying to think of different things to cook. For example, today we've had homemade kedgeree, and very nice it was too. So I googled some recipes on Tinterwebly. Josh, I can make sweets and puddings and desserts and things like that until the cows come home. I've got an endless repertoire of anything sweet. It's the first course bit that's my problem. I must admit, I'm not entirely with it when it comes to first courses. I struggle a bit. I've got a repertoire, and it kind of stops at that. So today we've had homemade kedgeree, which was very nice. But basically, because we've got quite a few packets of smoked haddock, finny haddock as we called it, in the freezer, and she then informed me that she'd gone off it and she really couldn't fancy the idea of sort of a piece of smoked fish with vegetables and whatnot. So I thought, well, what else can we do with it, because it's cluttering the freezer up? So we had some kedgeree. It was very nice. Yesterday we had sort of bolognese surprise, which was half a pot of spaghetti bolognese from when we had spaghetti bolognese, and I made it into a tray bake and put some cheese sauce on it, and added some baked beans and put some potatoes on top, and then cooked it in the oven. That was very nice. That was very nice. That was. They said when they came down for the dinner, what are we having? I said, who knows? Let's see what comes out in the oven. Yes, only me. I am on my own. It is very quiet in the background. T-Boy has T-Boyed off. He brought the brew and disappeared. T-Boy in training is downstairs having a meeting about something technical and clever, which I won't even pretend to know what he's talking about. Mark says he's going to send me a list of his weekly diet. It's certainly helping him to put weight on. I don't need any help putting weight on. It's my mum that we're trying to be fattening up, not me. So anyway, some of you have sent some recipes. So thank you ever so much for that, and I shall read them out. We shall have a look at the recipes you've sent. So Jane Celt, if you remember, had mentioned a recipe that her dad used to like, and he had sliced onion, cheese and milk in a dish, seasoned with salt and pepper, and he put it under the grill on an enamel plate, and I thought that sounded really nice. I think we might have a dabble at that, actually. I think it sounds quite nice with some nice fresh thick chunky bread. I like the sound of that. We'll have a bash at that, Jane. And then Bill Thornber, who lives in Nelson in Lancashire, says, in the 50s and 60s, my mother used to make battered onion scones. Slice medium onion and medium potato into 1/4 of an inch slice to make an onion sandwich, and add salt and pepper to taste. Make a batter mix, dip it in the batter, and fry it until golden brown. To speed up the process, cook without the batter in the microwave for 5 minutes to just kind of speed it along. That sounds very nice, actually. It's a bit like a scallop, isn't it? A bit like a potato scallop. Very nice. That sounds quite tasty, that does. And then John Hitchen sent us a recipe for pasta salad. Now, Chris is not a big pasta salad fan, but I must say I thought it sounded really nice. So I think we might be having a bash at this, actually, John. It says half a bag of pasta, 2 sticks of celery. Oh, I think celery is the work of the devil. I hate celery. 1 big tin of tuna, 1 pepper, a red one, a medium tin of sweet corn, mayonnaise and spring onions, and then just chuck it all in a dish and mix it with mayonnaise, which I thought sounded quite nice. quite nice. Fried jam sandwiches. Goodness me. Goodness me. No, not fried jam sandwiches. That's just a recipe for disaster, that, isn't it? It's a recipe for indigestion. I must add. I do keep indigestion tablets in my desk drawer. Along with headache tablets and chewing gum. So, Anne Allen says, you were talking about sandwiches. We have corned beef and raw onion on brown bread. Well, Anne, funny you should mention that, because when I was a child, back in the dark ages, and we used to stop on holiday in Blackpool, we used to get sort of fresh made, proper sliced bread, corned beef sandwiches with onion on from a shop in Blackpool, from a cafe in Blackpool. We used to take them down to the beach and eat them on the beach. So they wrapped them up in tin foil, and then we used to sit and eat them on the sands. And of course it was always, every day was blisteringly hot, because you didn't have bad weather when you were young, did you? And we would sit on the beach eating them, and they always ended up with sand in them. And to this day, I never have a corned beef sandwich without I'm transported back to being about 7 years old, sat on Blackpool Beach with my bucket in one hand and my spade in the other, and a sandwich that's got a liberal sprinkling of sand on it. And when Chrissy would get the sandwiches ready, she'd say, do you want onion on your corned beef? And I'd say, oh yes, absolutely. Don't forget the sand. Don't forget the sand. Oh, who's this? I hear your feet. That's T-Boy in training, I can tell. He's walking upstairs too fast.
How can you tell?
Is she all they've missed you?
Cheers, everybody.
What have you just walked into?
I've been in a high-powered meeting.
Did you sort them out?
I've sorted them out.
So there you go. Corned beef and onion sandwiches and a sprinkling of sand. Got to have a bit of sand on. Somebody mentioned a minute ago.
Do you like my new earrings? Yeah. You like them?
Hold on.
Oh,
somebody mentioned gypsy tart. Matt C says, have we tried gypsy tart? I can't say I've ever heard of gypsy tart. Does anybody know what gypsy tart is? I think Matt C ought to send me a recipe, or at least a description for gypsy tart. It's jane@therabbitpatch.co.uk. Email address is underneath in the description when we've finished. Don't go running off now. Is Kevin on YouTube? Goodness gracious me, don't need YouTube.
I've done it again.
What are you doing?
I've kicked it again. I think I'm losing weight.
You've got some way to go.
I'm going to get some work done.
Really? Yeah, gypsy tart. You were telling me about that, weren't you? So send me the recipe. And if you can't send me a recipe, send me a description. And I shall, if it sounds nice, I shall have a bash at making some.
And if you can't send me a description, send me a gypsy tart.
Mm. Exactly. That's gone cold, I'll leave that there. So that's that. If anybody else has got any other recipes, ideally for kind of main courses or snacks that you want to share with me, please feel free to send me them, because I am... Oh, and I mentioned chow mein. I said one morning when I did a beach walk that I was going back to make chicken chow mein.
Boy, it was lovely.
That was lovely. That was really nice. We shall be having that again. I shall take some photographs and I will put the recipe for it on Visit Fylde Coast, because it really, really was nice. No, Senga, I haven't got a slow cooker, but I have kept wondering whether we ought to invest in one. Yes, we've got a pressure cooker, which gives you a sort of a similar effect but faster. Yes, blackcurrant jam we're talking about at the moment. Christine says she needs cheese and blackcurrant jam. Yes, I agree. I've got a recommendation for you. Sainsbury's do a taste the difference jam. It's absolutely packed full of fruit and it's got a tang to it. So it's not that sort of sweet, peppy, sugary stuff. And that is lovely on cheese. It's just like, well, not quite, but as near as I've ever tasted to some jam that my friend Dorothy makes. She makes some lovely jam. Right, so that's that. Anyway, I've been getting back to doing a little bit of woodworking. So I'm going to show you my latest make. So this is a work in progress. Oh, hold on, here we go. Matt says gypsy tart is a type of tart made with evaporated milk, muscovado sugar and pastry. Oh,
Prolific.
that sounds nice. That sounds nice, but I need to know what it looks like. Need to know what it looks like. Anyway, woodworking. So I've been woodworking. So I've had this mackerel tin ages because I'm quite partial to a bit of mackerel in tomato sauce on a sandwich. We're still talking about food, aren't we? On a sandwich, nice with sliced tomato, even nicer still with salad added. But I'm quite partial to the tins as well, so I thought I'd save them and I'd have a bash at making what's technically known as a diorama. So there you go. That's what I've been making. This is my latest make. So I've got 2 little driftwood cottages. I'm going to call this Starry Night. I'm going to call it Starry, Starry Night. And I've been singing that all morning. So it's not finished. I'm going to put pebbles and bushes and trees and things in it. And it's got stars, look. Stars in the sky. So Kevin, T-Boy in Training, says, if I'm a bit critical, he said, I think the wood's a little bit too deep at the front. It's not even finished. Honestly. Rude. In fact, if I'd have thought about it, I'd have swatted him with a fly swatter. Pressure cookers, just going back to what you were saying there while I was showing you the woodwork. Apparently, I think, well, I don't know. I don't know whether they were particularly known for blowing up, but you've got to be careful with them. You've got to make sure that you don't leave them unsupervised and you don't keep the heat too high because, yes, they can blow up. And apparently my mum did that once. Don't think I was there. I was at school. It's that long ago. And she blew it. No, she didn't. She blew the weight off the top. And there was gravy everywhere. It was all over the ceiling. So you've got to be careful. But they are very good. Very good. You can cook a proper, nice, chuggy stew in half an hour. And you'd have an oven on for 3 hours, wouldn't you, to do that? So, that's that. Right, now then. Is Nutter Road a good place? Well, Commodore Museum. I think we ought to live on Nutter Road, quite frankly. Nutter Road is, let me get my wires straight. I can hear Brenda shouting at the computer. Nutter Road is just off Cleveley's High Street. And it's the street at the side of Wilkinson's. So if you imagine the clock garden, that's right, isn't it, Brenda? If you imagine the clock garden where the flowers are with the clock in the middle, not the clock shelter. Nutter Road is the one that goes straight down in a straight road. Is that right? Am I right, Bren? So, yeah, I mean, it's dead handy. It's dead handy if you're thinking about living there. Other than that, it's just a street. There's not really much else to say, I suppose. So, are you sitting? Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Well. Round of applause. Round of applause. T-Boy's finally showed himself. So, now then, we have we have another masterpiece from Mr. John Hitchin, Poet Laureate at Visit Fylde Coast. Aldo says no sugar.
All right, okay.
To go with no tea.
Yeah, to go with your no tea. So, John has written a poem called The Windmill on Lytham Green, and he has sent it in for our consideration at this afternoon's brew at 2. And he added, I really enjoyed your latest video with Chrissy. You both make my day. You are a double act, and you're back. If you've not seen that one, I thought it was quite amusing. It's the story of the soup. And somebody's put a comment on that video today to say that they're in the hospital now and they'd had the soup and it was too salty, they couldn't eat it. It is salty, I'll grant you that. Right, are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Yes. Then I shall begin.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Right, are you ready? The Windmill on Lytham Green. The windmill on the Lytham Green has been battered by the gales. When you take a glance at it, you will notice there's no sails. This is true. It's such an iconic building and it's painted black and white. You will notice in the evening that it's covered in bright light. It attracts so many visitors as they walk along the prom. A windmill with no sails. I ask, where have they all gone? I take it they've dismantled them to bring them back like new. A bit of paint and oil on them will bring them back in view. It's no longer a working windmill, but it's always bright and clean, stood in all its glory on the Lytham Green. Excellent. Very good, that, John. Very good. I wouldn't expect any other. From you. Now, I believe that the sails kind of blew off one by one. And now they've got the job of finding a piece of wood that's strong enough and long enough to make the leading edge of the sail. So I don't know. It's well, it's not many oak trees round about now, is there, to chop down and make a new sail from. So that's that. Right, so I've had a little bit of post this week. Oh yes, I have. Yes, I've had some post. Is there a cheese emporium? Brenda? Is there still a cheese shop on Nutter Road? Christine's asking. I think it was Christine. I think it was you, wasn't it? There was a deli, a small deli, but the gentleman that ran it was quite elderly, so he may have hung up his apron and not be doing it. Yes, Kat, I agree. I like cheese. Any kind of cheese. So, yes, I've had some post this week. I've had a letter. So it got redirected though, so I've had to sit and wait for it. But it was very nice when it turned up. I like getting letters in the post. So this is from Gordon in Belper in Derbyshire, and Gordon says, oh, here we go. Nutter Road goes from Vic Road through to Beach Road, and yes, the deli is still there. So, letter. Gordon says, I thought I had to write to you to tell you how much I enjoy your super Fylde Coast videos. I have always had a soft spot for the Fylde area. He had his honeymoon here, and prior to that, his family always came to Blackpool for summer holidays. Staring at what's up with my mouth? It's gonna lunky. Staying at the moorings near to Uncle Tom's cabin. I have had 2 recent 5-day breaks at the Premier Inn in Bispam and had several lovely meals at Cleveless Kitchen. I am always so interested in your videos about Cleveland's in the area, also the improvements being made to Blackpool, like the new Winter Gardens Conference Centre and the new tram service near to North Station. Please continue to make your most lovely videos, all of you. Subscribers love to watch them. I watch them every week. Thank you so much, Gordon, as well. That is really kind of you. And I think in these days of everything coming by email, I think it's really nice to get a letter, and I shall put that in my back box with my other bits and bobs of stuff. You see, I always keep stuff. I always keep stuff. So, somebody else, lots of you put lots of really nice comments on YouTube when you've watched the videos. And David Hawson said, fingers and everything else crossed, Cleveland's market does take off. It's ridiculous it's only allowed for 2 days. I agree, David. Thank you, Jane. Every time I watch a video of yours, I want to move from Chester. It's fantastic, and your warmth shines. Can you see it shining around me like a radiator? Joking apart, life's too short to be miserable. Life's too short to be miserable, and if you can spread a little bit of sunshine, you should do that, shouldn't you? You should do that. So I'm trying to get back to making videos, but like I said when we started today, I am very, very tired. In fact, I'm very, very, very tired. And I was going to go out on Monday morning this week because my computer, I don't know about yours people, but at the bottom where it gives you all your little icony things, it says at the moment 9 degrees, mostly cloudy. So on Monday morning it said sunny all morning. So I said, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to Blackpool. I'm going, yeah. Senga can see my halo. There you go, it's shining. Look at the back of me there. That one. It's a square one. It's a square low. So I said, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to Blackpool. I'm going to go and see what's happened, because I don't think I've been to Blackpool since October, other than the Vic, obviously. Kevin said, I don't think you should go. He said, you're very tired. I'm worried about you, and it's going to rain. So I said, okay, Kevin, because I always do everything Kevin suggests. Don't I, darling?
Yes.
Yes.
baby.
Did you hear him fall off his chair then, laughing? Anyway, I didn't. I stopped in, and I was glad I did, actually, because by the time dinner time came, I couldn't keep my eyes open. So the weather's been tripe. It's raining now. It says mostly cloudy on my computer, but it's actually raining. So as soon as we start to get some better weather, we'll get back out on the beach and we'll start to manage to make some videos. And my assistant, my little comical comedy partner, also is of a mind to do lots of content as well. So we will be bringing you more videos. So there'll be a live video tomorrow from Cleveland's Market. I might do that one actually on Facebook as a live on our Visit Cleveland's Facebook page, and then I'll do a pre-recorded one and upload it at tea time, because there's quite a few different things happening. We've got doggy photographs, because we've got a new stall that makes cakes and bakes and things, especially for dogs. So to celebrate that, we're going to do free dog treats, and we're going to take pictures and run a competition for whoever's got the prettiest dog. So if you know anybody locally on the Fylde coast that's got a pooch, send them to the market. We'll take the picture. We've also got the Princess Trust volunteers in, and they're doing some cleaning up and tidying up at the centre for them. So that's all good stuff. So we've got that to record. And we've got Gemma doing free fit classes. Now that's not quite as drastic as it sounds. It's feel incredible today, not fit as in we're going to flog you to death. So there's lots happening. So if you're around, pop in and say hello. So where was I going with that? Yeah, videos. So slowly but surely, life will start to come back to normal. I'm going for my hair doing on Thursday. Hallelujah, thank the Lord. So while I'm out on Thursday, I'm planning to do a video in Fleetwood, but if it rains, I might not, but we'll see. We'll see what happens on Thursday. So I think my nose sounds a little bit stuffed up. I sound like I'm about to return to Nottingham. Andrea's just said, do I know what's happened to Leroy? No, I've got no idea what's happened to Leroy. Now, Matthew, I don't know whether Matthew's watching us at the moment, but Matthew, one of our regular supporters and viewers, said he'd put a post on yesterday, a comment on, to say that Leroy had been doing some videos around Stanley Park. I don't know whether he videoed some properties and people had taken exception to it or what, but he'd been threatened somewhere, something to do with Stanley Park. So I don't know any more than that. I've met most of the Blackpool ones, but I've never actually met Leroy. I wouldn't know if he walked into me. I wouldn't. So that's that. Right, now then, apologies. Yes, only me says I did. He'd received some nasty threats, so he's taking all his videos down. No, I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead, Josh. I don't think he's that serious. I think we'd have known. So, apologies to Jane. Moving on. Apologies to Jane, because last week she sent me something from the RNLI and she asked me to tell you, and I completely forgot, because we all know I've got a memory like a sieve. Memory like a sieve. So apparently they're running a sale at the moment on their website. They've got hampers at £6 instead of 30. Now this was last week when she told me this, so they might have gone. There's jams and chutneys and all kinds of different stuff in it. She's bought all kinds of stuff. There's calendars and diaries that are just £1. Sale on their clothing. So there's lots of stuff there for you to fill your boots with. So you'll go and have a look. Oh, just on the subject of me. Just on the subject of hair. Last week we were talking about whether or not I should have my fringe cut or whether I should let it grow out, and I've kind of got down to about there, so I'm going to persevere. We had a vote on it and you people all decided that I should leave it to grow, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your advice. Keith, my friend Keith, got the wrong end of the stick and thought I was having it cut in a bob, all the lot chopped off, sort of there. At the moment I say it's about that long, because I did have quite a bit cut off. And Can Action Coach said, what about a bob, Kathy? I would just like to say that when I had a bob last, I was about 20, I would say. In the days when I'd still got brown hair. We've got a photograph on. I'll not say I'll show it you because I'll never be able to find it. And so I've got this fringe and a shoulder length bob. And my mother said I look downright ugly and get it grown. And she did have a point, because I have to say, of all the hairstyles and all the colours and all the shapes and all the perms and all the streaks and all the different things I've done over the years, that had got to be the worst. Would you agree, Dad? It didn't do anything for me at all. So I won't be having a bob, Kathy. Or Keith. So, anyway, before Christmas, when everything went pear-shaped, Alan Winter sent something in for us to share. Bearing in mind, I think most of us are over a little bit of a certain age, about what we've got to look forward to when we're 70 or 80 years plus. Now, are you listening to this, T-boy? Are you listening to this?
What?
I've got a fable for you. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we will begin. This is something that happened at an assisted living centre. The people who lived there had small apartments, but they all ate at a central cafeteria. One morning, one of the residents didn't show up for breakfast. So my wife went upstairs and knocked on his door to see if everything was okay. She could hear him through the door, and he said that he was running late and would be down shortly, so she went back to the dining area. An hour later, he still hadn't arrived, so she went back up towards his room but found him on the stairs. He was coming down the stairs, but he was having a difficult time. He had a death grip on the handrail and seemed to be having terrible trouble to get his legs working right. She told him she was going to call an ambulance, but he said no, he wasn't in any pain. And he just wanted to have his breakfast. He just wanted his breakfast. So she helped him the rest of the way down the stairs and he had his breakfast. When he tried to return to his room, he was completely unable to get up, even the first step, so they called an ambulance for him. I haven't got a 999 siren. A couple of hours later, she called the hospital to see how he was doing. How do you do it? To see how he was doing. The receptionist said he was fine. He just had both of his legs in one side of his boxer shorts. So Alan says, I'm sending this to my children so that they don't sell the house before they know all the facts. So when you see someone struggling on the stairs, make sure you ask whether or not they've got two legs in the boxer shorts. So that's the moral of today's story. So that brings us on to birthdays. Yes, that does. So the birthday book. Now, last week, I said it was somebody's birthday on Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, when it was on the day after. That's because I realised afterwards that it's 2021 calendar I've been using. So these are dead handy if you ever need to plan things. You can download these off the internet if you just search for month to view calendar or whatever. So I do tend to use these quite a bit, so you just print them out and do what you want with them. But of course, when you get to 2022, all the days are in the wrong place. So I need to make sure that I try to remember that in future. So today's birthdays cover the period from the 8th to the 22nd of February, of which there are none on my book. There you go, none. Nick's, no, none. So there you go. So if your birthday is this week, then there you go. Right, Josh. Do I need to give you that Mummy's looking at you and being disapproving face? Just behave now. So, don't forget that there is no Brew at 2 next week, but we will be back. As the great man said, we will be back. We will be back. There's no Brew at 2 next week because I'm going for a medical appointment with my mum. It's not my medical appointment, it's hers, but I'm the chauffeur, or the domestic, as I am now known. Yes, when she wants something, she shouts, "Domestic! Domestic! Come here, can you please?" Oh dear, Phil's going to the dentist's. Good luck, Phil. Good luck. Right, so that brings us on to the end of today's show. So without any more ado, I shall put my spectacles on. Hold on. Oh, hold on. James says, can you please wish my daughter Katie happy birthday for the 14th of February? From Paul Williams from Berkeley Green in Birmingham. I will do that for you with pleasure.
Valentine's.
With pleasure. Oh, yes, Valentine's Day. Yes, it's Valentine's Day next week. So, are you ready? I think I'm on a little bit of a lean there, aren't I? I think I look like I've got a little bit of scans. Smiling is infectious. You catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. And when he smiled, I realised I'd passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel round the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic, quick, and get the world infected. You have a lovely week now, people. See you soon. Bye.